Are Akashic Records in the Bible? Now, this is actually going to be a whole series. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you want to keep up with the series, because we're going to cover what are Akashic Records, where are Akashic Records, how do we use Akashic Records for healing, and is Akashic Records in the Bible? Stay tuned. Now, if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Reverend Kamisha, and I declare and decree that I am now your favorite metaphysician. I am an ordained metaphysician, and I teach people how to use metaphysical laws to design their life and enhance their business. Akashic Records are said to be memory. If you just Google Akashic Records, all types of articles will come up, and most of them will say that they represent a memory bank. The word Akasha itself comes from the Sanskrit language, and it means sky, ether, the heavens. Some people say it means the fifth element. It's a lot of, I like to say, woo-woo words that are centered around Akashic Records. But the word Akasha itself is referring to the sky. However, when we do a little bit of word magic, we can see that the sky is really talking about the mind. Look at this. Now, the sky is referring to the psyche, which is the mind, which automatically lets us know that Akashic Records are really the mind itself. The mind, meaning that the mind of all, everyone's mind. And mind is just another word for memory. If you look up the etymology of memory, it's going to tell you that it means mind. So Akashic Records really are a memory bank. As a matter of fact, they're also called records, which lets us know that it's something that's stored somewhere. It's something that has been recorded somewhere. So again, it's letting us know that it's really talking about some type of memories. Now, how do we even access these memories? I'm going to be telling you that in a whole nother video. So we're not going to get into that right now, but I really want you to understand just what they are. One of the ways that we can also know what they are is simply also by looking at the word Akasha itself, not looking at the definition of it, but using some word magic to do it, which that's what I do on my channel, by the way. Everything that I teach is centered around word magic. The word Akasha itself has the word cash, or the sound of the word cash, right in it. And cash is referring to money, not physical money, not pieces of paper, but a bank. True money is a memory bank. And so Akashic Records plays a big part in us even remembering what the true money actually is and what the exchange of energy actually is. And that is why Akashic Records ties into karmic debt, things that we keep replaying in our life over and over and over again. It usually has to do with us learning lessons that are stored in our Akashic Records. Now, when you think about the word record, doesn't it make you think about music? Or doesn't it make you think about sound? Well, that's also what Akashic Records are. Again, if you were to Google it and just do some research on it, it's going to tell you that it has something to do with the realm of sound, which means that Akashic Records are based on vibration. Okay, so it's based on everything that we feel and think. Every time we feel and think, we create a vibration. And so Akashic Records are vibration. Some people say that Akashic Records don't exist. Well, you don't exist. You actually don't exist. All of this is an illusion. It's a memory that comes and goes. Everything that we're experiencing. Even when you look at the word record and you realize that, oh, a record is sound or vibration. Well, everything has a vibration. So that suggests that even everything that you're looking at, the physical realm, has an Akashic record. So, and the reason why it has an Akashic record is because it's part of the memory. It's part of the experience. And so to say that Akashic Records don't exist, it does and it doesn't, the same way your entire experience is not actually real. That's the whole theme of the Matrix, that none of this exists and that it's all really a trick. But Akashic Records is you having the ability to tap into some memory and be able to heal something that has happened in a past life, or even be able to get hints about what's happening now or in the future. So when I say that everything has an Akashic record, what I mean is that you can look at something in the physical realm and get a divine message from it, and get an understanding of what's happening on the etheric realm, or on the unseen realm, which is where all Akashic records are stored, right? To get an understanding of what's happening in the now. So you can look at something that's happening in the now, in the physical realm, and get a download or an understand of what's happening in the etheric realm. I hope that made sense. The problem with this idea of Akashic records is that when we say, oh, they don't exist or there's no such thing, the reason why is because we don't remember. You understand how it's like this cycle of, because you don't remember, you say that there's no such thing. And so we go through this cycle of forget and remember and forget and remember. Now I'm going to tell you why I believe that we go through this cycle. And part of it has to do with the energy of what one might call Satan. Now, in the Bible, the word Nakash in the Hebrew language is serpent. Now, Nakash and Akash sounds very similar, right? Of course, on my channel, I don't take that for granted, or I don't believe that there's any coincidence when two words sounds very similar. So because Akash and Nakash sounds very similar, that lets me know right there that there's a relationship between a serpent and Akashic records, which the serpent is also called Satan or the devil. I know that that's not a so-called bad thing, okay? I know the deeper understanding of that. But because Satan also represents the serpent, in this situation, we're going to look at Satan representing us forgetting who we are, us forgetting our power, us forgetting what we have the ability to do. So if you want to learn more about the relationship between Satan and your Akashic records, or Nakash and your Akashic records, go watch this video right here. Now, Akashic records are not only to be used for, oh, I want to know something from a past life. It's really for you to get to the root of you knowing who you are at the core, and knowing what you are at the core, and understanding that you have this power to create and manifest the desire that you want. But a lot of times we have a lot of trauma stored down in our DNA, in our Akashic records. And so this is the reason why when we want to manifest particular things in our life, especially money, we start realizing that we have a lot of healing to do. We have healing to do around our own self-esteem, around our own confidence, around jealousy issues, around us not forgiving people and things that has happened to us in this life and in past lives, because these things have been passed down to us through Akashic records. Now, if you listen to this whole video and you still want to learn more about Akashic records, about accessing Akashic records, you have two things that you can do. Number one, you can book a free 15-minute clarity call with me, and we can talk about you working with me one-on-one to get an Akashic record reading. Number two, you can go to my blog and actually read the entire blog, which gives you 5 ways to access Akashic records. So do one of those two things, and make sure you come back in the next video, because in the next video, we're going to talk about where Akashic records are. Okay? See you in the next video.